Hi, everyone. I'm so happy to be here today. And I want to present you a very, how do you say, it's a very potent lady with bodies. Her name is Dr. Glenna Rice. Honestly, Glenna, I'm so honored to have you here and to create this with you. Thank you very much for joining us.
Oh, thank you. Gracias. Muchas gracias. We can do Spanglish a little. Poquito español.
Yay.
Yes, I'm so happy because this is so exciting what we're creating. Bety, who's amazing and is on her way to become a 3-day body class facilitator. We're co-facilitating. I know. And it's like her debut with bodies is coming up really soon in Los Angeles area. So we've got this Zoom to just talk about the miracles.
Yeah, and for the people that doesn't know you very well, can I ask you how long have you been in Access and using these tools?
All of my life. Toda la vida. No, 15 years. I started 16 actually.
Wow.
Yes. When my daughter's 17 and she was a year old. So 16 years I started. I became a body class facilitator in 2009.
Wow.
Kind of the beginning of that whole creation that Gary started. And I've done body classes. I was just actually talking to someone. It's kind of weird. I don't know if I sound like I'm bragging or it's just like an awareness I'd never had. That I've done 2 or 3 classes a month for over 10 years. So 200 and something classes, body classes I've facilitated in the planet.
Wow.
And I got an awareness. I'm at the Symphony of Possibilities class with Dr. Dane Hare, and something has changed with my body, and they just like kind of downloaded, like I'm kind of a walking, like there's this energy of the body class and the body processes that's available that even I didn't realize until this week.
Wow.
Where your body just starts being the body processes. Like you're going to receive something new is showing up. There's so many people choosing the body classes, and we've been in pandemic insanity where we couldn't be touched by anyone that wasn't living with us and couldn't go to live classes, and that's changing. It is changing. Just know that. Everyone that's listening, it's changing. I've been able to travel to Europe. People are traveling more in America, and other countries are changing. We're getting around. We're going beyond. And the bodies are like, now, please let me have this.
Yeah, after like 2 years of being separate, that bodies didn't receive any touch or anything. Wow.
So Bety, because we've chatted a bit, but not tons. We haven't had time. I've been traveling. We've been busy. But what got you to choose to be a body class facilitator? Like, what was the inspiration or the awareness of that?
The invitation for me to get in Access was a little body class process. This 3-hour class where you just learn one body process, just one. And I had taken a bars session, but the bar session for me was not like that spectacular, And when I took that class with one body process, my whole world changed. It was like a wave coming for me, and it was crazy.
No, that's kind of what I'm speaking to. It's like this wave that's there to change our connections with our bodies, our relationship with our body, and our relationship with our bodies and the planet. And I don't know, let's say change the world.
Yes, totally. And I wanted to ask you too, what about when did you realize that bodies was your thing, that you loved bodies and working with them?
It was before Access. I mean, I went to university to become a physical therapist, which is working with bodies, but I was also a dancer, and there was this connection I'd always kind of had with bodies, and I was going to go to medical school, and then I heard about this other thing I could do, which was physical therapy, and it was like bing, 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 bing. Now, was I seeing my future that moment? I think I was, but I had no awareness of the future that I was going to create in some 30, I won't age myself too much, but some 30 some years later. And I always knew there was something missing about what it was, and then went to my first access class, and my practice, my physical therapy practice completely, I would say, exploded in what was possible. And back then we only had a few body, we had the bars was in foundation. I mean, it was a real different class I'm teaching now. And there was, well, there's so much more available now, but I had an awareness that was kind of not my purpose, but like, that's what I'd been asking for since I was in my 20s.
Wow, that's awesome. And you know what? That energy that you have with bodies, and that energy I told you about, that this first class totally was a revolution in my body and in my life. I think that that's the energy of the miracles that we are trying to get to people, that when you receive a body processes, sometimes you just say, I want to change this little thing, and the body processes change like your whole world.
Yep.
Can you talk more about that? I mean, you have a lot of experience with bodies and with processes.
Yeah. It's the bodies that have shown me. I was just having this conversation recently, like the bodies that I've worked with that have come, chosen to come to my classes, the beings with their bodies, have shown me more than anything about what's possible.
Exactly.
I may have chosen it, but they chose to, there was a choice to see what was possible with the bodies and what they know. The bodies have an awareness that is so much greater than this reality even gets close. Like, we barely even tap into it. The bodies have awareness to gift us that the body class allows us to start to access, or breaks down our, the stuff that we have where bodies aren't valuable in this reality. It starts to like trickle in that there is a value to embodiment and being on this planet, and the bodies have that for us. And every body process that is run, that you run, that someone chooses to run, every single body process starts to like disintegrate the lie that bodies aren't aware and don't have this massive amount of information to give to us. I mean, MTVSS, like a lot of you on here have probably been to a foundation class or a trade, and MTVSS was one of the first body processes. That's still my favorite in so many ways. It's like my go-to. It starts to break those walls down and give you access to your body.
Yeah, and when you say that, like it starts to break the walls and everything, is like, I mean, if I go like 6 years ago or 5 years ago before access, for me, it would be like, what is she talking about? Like, I don't understand. And when you leave the energy of a body process in your process, is like every body process is like a little present that you get to open, and you don't know what is going to be there, but it's something amazing, that's for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, and you spoke about not knowing what what are you talking about, access to your body? Like, what is that? But it's like these little things. Like, I have 3 children, and they were young when I started. Now, I was doing the classes and bringing them there because I couldn't think of affording a babysitter back in those days. So they came to my classes, and they stopped having colds. They stopped getting sick. Like, there was no more doctor visits in my life after that. And then before that, it was a normal thing that they had stuffy noses and were coughing and missed school, which would freak me out because I had to miss work if they missed school. And those things went away. points of views about food and how much I should eat or not eat or what I should eat. Points of view, judgments about my body and what it looked like after becoming a mom and losing my flat tummy, getting a mommy belly. Those kind of things started to just be not valuable and disappearing. So it's not this etheric thing we're talking about, like this woo-woo, like you're gonna be aware of your body, but it's like there's really practical stuff that starts to change that makes your life easier.
And
I don't know if you could talk about that. You're a mom too. I know that things must have changed with you and your.
Yeah.
I know you have a daughter. I don't know if you have more kids than one.
Yes, I have 2 kids, and well, they are not kids anymore, you know. But anyway, and that things that you are telling, these little things, and that start to change, they are big things, you know, because like 2 months ago, I had this surgery where it was something like, I don't know how you say it in Spanish, I mean in English, but the energy of when you have a baby, you know, they open my
Labor.
body like in labor, exactly like a cesárea.
Oh, okay. Yes.
So they open my body.
Es mismo.
Oh, okay. And they opened my body like that. And when I had my my boy and my girl, I have like 25 years less than now. So my body at the next day of the surgery was like, okay, let's go, come on. You know, I have to walk and everything. And the doctor and the nurses in the hospital were like, wow, your body, you're very well. And I was like, well, that's normal. And they say, no, that's not normal.
No, you become so not normal, but not normal in a way that you are just at ease walking. And I see that in my practice, and I see with people that come to my classes and the other bodywork class I teach for Access. The points of views of the medical profession become so silly, almost like they're not part of your reality.
Exactly. And that's the thing that I love more about the body processes, because these are the miracles, you know. You don't have to have like big miracles, but these little miracles are awesome. You don't get to get sick that often.
And that's not a little miracle. That's a huge miracle from this reality. Like having a surgery and coming out of it walking and have the nurses going, oh my God, you're different. That's a huge miracle. That is magic beyond what we see in this reality. And it becomes just kind of how your body is and how you are with it. This creation you start to have with your body becomes different. The body starts to talk to you. And it's not in words. It's like this kind of subtle whispers of energy that starts to speak to you, that you listen to and you go, oh, okay, we're having surgery and you're going to be okay. I actually can get up. All these points of views that the doctors have that I can't get out of bed aren't real for us anymore.
And you know
all these points of views that I have. Go ahead.
You know what? That the weird thing for me in that moment, it was like when the doctor told me about the surgery, my body was like, yes, please, let's do this. And I was like, really? You know?
And knowing when surgery is going to work for you and when it's not, when your body's on board, when you listen to your body's point of view, because your body's points of views are incredible and such a contribution. And we are like trained almost from birth to not listen to what our body's point of view is. And it's such a sadness because our body's points of view about everything contribute to creating something greater. Yeah. I would say that's pretty much what I've seen year after year is when the body's points of views are listened to, what it knows, your life gets greater. There's more ease. You walk out of surgeries. I love that. I'm going to have to take that story. Are there any questions, preguntas on anything? I think someone had their hand up.
¿Alguien tiene preguntas? Creo que no pudieron entrar al Zoom en español. Lo están traduciendo y lo están grabando y todos los que se inscribieron van a recibir la traducción. Pero si tienen alguna pregunta ahorita, pueden hacerla si gustan.
No, the woman who raised her hand, I don't see her on. I know there's lots of stuff in the chat.
Well, it's more like they were trying to get to the Zoom in Spanish.
I see that.
And we had a problem with that. A lady sometime asked me that if the body has judgments, I mean, she was like trying to make me get in this energy where her body was making her do something and was judging her, you know, and her body was this mean thing that hated her. And I was like, can you say more about that? Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, your body has some points of views, which are a little different than judgment. Like there may be, you know, hours it likes to sleep, or foods it is when you eat them, it's more creative and it'll give you that, but they're not judgments. Your body, I don't know if bodies are even really capable of judgment. You are really good at judging. And the thing about bodies is they will kind of do anything you ask of them. And any judgment you have of them, they're perfectly happy to contribute to gifting you those judgments. Like if you think, you know, my stomach is fat, your body will go, okay, I'll keep making it fat so I can agree with your judgment. They're kind of like our pets, like our dogs. We'll do whatever we ask of them, without a point of view, without really a point of view. The body is like, I don't have a point of view if I'm big or small or skinny or starving or too full. It's like, whatever you want, we're good. So it's us that judge, we judge. But it can be very, like what she said was a great question, because it can be really difficult to see that your body's not judging, and to become aware that it's the being, it's you and your points of views and the stuff you've bought from everyone else, and you know, the magazines or internet or Instagram we watched or read as children, and how much those points of views influenced us, that it's not our body, it's us, and our body's here to gift whatever point of view we have to us. And I've had many people that had a real difficulty kind of twisting that, like everything's the opposite of what it appears to be. Nothing is the opposite of what it appears to be, that it's not the body that has the judgments, it's your judgments of bodies. It's so pervasive, it's so universal. I've been all over the world teaching classes, like India and Japan and South America and Mexico many, many times. I actually love Mexico City. I might be weird. But my body gets really happy there. And the judgments and the points of views and the disregard of bodies is energetically similar everywhere I've been. I have not yet been to a country where people don't have it. That the body's wrong, the body's not valuable, that you need to control it, force it to eat, judge it out of looking the way it does, and it always looks wrong. Even if you're the most perfect fashion model that's ever walked, you think your body looks wrong. And I see it everywhere. What will it take to change that? Yes. We have a question here in the chat. So it's in Spanish. I'm going to translate for you. She says, I have a process in my throat. 3 years ago, it started. It has a name in Spanish. I don't know it in English, but... No, ¿cómo se dice en español? What is it in Spanish? Dystonia espasmódica. And it's like a spasmic, okay. And it has, okay. And I have used a lot of tools and questions, and it keeps there and there. Sometimes I get better. Sometimes I get worse. What can I do, or what would you recommend
which body processes in your experience?
Is this when she eats?
No, it's when she talks.
This is when she talks. She kind of, her throat closes up.
It's like, how do you say cuerdas vocales? The chords. When we talk, we use
vocal cords.
The vocal cords. Yeah, exactly. That it's a problem with the vocal cords. So when she talks, it's like her voice changes, like trembling.
Okay, this is kind of weird. Can I go weird? Local. How many lifetimes have you been an incredible speaker or singer?
Okay, ¿cuántas vidas has sido una increíble cantante o oradora?
That you decided something was wrong about it. Or someone projected on you something was wrong about being that.
Okay, y que tú juzgaste o alguien más o muchas personas juzgaron que era muy malo que tú fueras esa energía.
Right, so everything that is, yeah. So Bety got that. Bety, nice. Yeah, that energy. So for anyone that's new to access, that's on this call, I'm going to PodPOC something now. I'm going to destroy and uncreate, like do the PodPOC statement. If you don't know what it is, we're not going to explain it right now. It'd take too long. Go to theclearingstatement.com, and Dr. Dane here, one of the founders of Access, gives a beautiful explanation, and I know it's translated in hundreds of languages. Yeah. So everything you decided about speaking, singing, or it feels like being present in, like, with a crowd with people listening. Everything you've decided from every lifetime that you will never do that again. He was trying to create all of that.
Todo lo que hayas decidido que estaba mal sobre hablar, sobre cantar o sobre estar presente con la gente, estar ahí con ellos, lo de cualquier otra vida lo destruyes y lo descreas, por favor.
So Bety, you're translating and we have a translator.
Yeah, but they cannot get in she's here.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. She's right there with you. Okay. Because I was watching you translate and Sarah translate, and I'm like, you're both.
No.
That's awesome. So yeah, everything that is right and wrong, destroy and create it all. Right and wrong, good and bad, pod and POC online, shirts, boys and beyonds. And sometimes the trembling, is the trembling possibly, just a yes or no, what's lighter for you, excitement about speaking?
Es esta como, esto que te da, pues como temblorcito, puede ser sí o no, lo que sea ligero para ti, es eso, emoción de hablar, que te llega. ¿Sí?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that energy she's aware of, because I can kind of perceive it here. Expand it, like make it greater.
Esa energía, expándela, hazla grande, 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 grande.
Instead of like being, I'm not going to talk, this is weird, my throat is weird, people might notice. Just make it bigger and bigger and be there with it. And what's it telling you? What's it gifting you? What does it know? What is that awareness? What is the awareness giving you in it? It's like a knowing your body has that it's gifting to you. It's freaky. It's weird in this reality.
¿Sí captaste eso, Eli? ¿Sí? Okay.
And how many people want and desire to listen to what you have to say? Or I get sing, I don't know if she sings, but how many people in this reality want to hear?
¿Cuántas personas en esta realidad quieren escuchar lo que tienes que decir? Y llega como una energía de cantar.
Does she sing?
¿Cantas? Oh, a long time ago, she used to sing.
Okay, everything she did to stop that and shut it down, whatever that is, can we destroy and create that too?
todo lo que haya hecho que te detuvieras de cantar lo destruyes y lo descreas.
Right, Ron, give that PodPOC online insurance boys and beyonds.
Okay. The energy is moving a lot. She's getting, warm and everything. She's sweating.
Cool. Cool. And expand it. Let it be uncomfortable, because where it's uncomfortable is where the change happens.
Expand it, expand it, expand it. Whoa.
Yeah, I can feel that change all the way here in Serbia, Croatia.
There is also Mirna here with another question. She says,
Awesome.
I've been working with an acupuncturist to help my body heal high blood pressure. She has narrowed it down to my left lung, but have not been able to find healing. What can I do to help my body heal it? Okay.
Very first thing is everything you've decided about high blood pressure, everything you bought about it being a wrongness, everything you bought from anyone you've ever known in this life, your family especially, about high blood pressure and all the medical points of views, everything you read. We can create all of that first. All those points of views. Right, wrong, good, bad, PodPOC, online shorts, boys and beyonds. Your left lung. That's interesting. I'm not an acupuncturist, so they look at bodies differently than me. So it's just, I'm like kind of like checking in with what that is. I do have to say that all of the professions that work on bodies in this reality come from an answer. The one thing that's completely unique, and I think the coolest thing, the greatest thing about Access for me, is that we come from a question without a conclusion and without a diagnosis and without a prescription after we figure out what you got. Okay. So I'm gonna, so coming from a place where if this wasn't a problem, what is possible? If high blood pressure wasn't a problem, what is possible? And high blood pressure is diagnosed by putting a cuff on your wrist or your arm. It gives you like 5 seconds of what your blood pressure is in 5 seconds. What it's like 20 seconds later, only you and your body are aware of, because they're not measuring you then. Unless you're actually in a hospital where they have something on you all the time. So what high blood pressure is and what it's creating and what it's the information it has for you for a change that's possible, those are not things the medical profession, any of them, Chinese, acupuncture, naturopaths, chiropractors, whatever they are, they come from answers. That's not something that they're going to be in a question with, like, what is this actually creating and what contribution could it be? What is it changing? These are questions you can ask. You talk to your body about it. Like, body, what blood pressure would you like to have? What would be fun for us? And what would it take for that to show up the next time they put a cuff on you and go, what would you like to show them? I'll say one other thing, a lot, like, we decide they're problems in our bodies, that these are problems. They tell you it's a problem. You have diabetes, you have high blood pressure, you have this, you have that. You have this problem. If you can get out of the point of view that it's a problem, like, yeah, it's there. It's there, it showed up. What is it? What can I do with it? And how can I change it? You know, it could be that it's a traditional medical thing. It could be it's acupuncture is changing it. This woman's, the question was that she changed everything but her left lung. So what is that? What is there? What is still there that's like, I want to tell you this thing. Maybe it's like you got a little extra stress that you're making wrong. And wrongness is often on the left side of our body. What is left in Spanish? ¿Cómo se dice left?
Izquierdo.
Izquierdo.
Izquierdo. And right is derecho.
Which is right. Yeah. I know in Italian it's sinistre, which is like sinister. as I cough. So things in our left side of our body can be things we make wrong. So that kind of perked my awareness there. So everything you're making wrong about your body. But there's something more for you. This would probably be a longer question, but whoever asked the question, I don't know if I can see your face or if it was just texted. Can you destroy and uncreate everything you have decided is wrong about you or your body that is being presented to you on the left side of your body? Right, wrong, good, bad, what do you get, Bety? You had an awareness about something when that question came up.
Yeah, well, what popped up for me when you say that we always do something wrong in our body. My body has low blood pressure. Like for my whole life, it's been like that. And when the doctors take me the blood pressure, they're like, oh my God, your blood pressure is so low. So since it is like that for my whole life, I don't do that wrong. And I was like wondering, wow, how many things are we doing wrong in our body that it is just the way our body is functioning, the way our body likes to be, different from others.
Yeah, yes. Like low blood pressure is something you want. And then if you show up in the doctor's office and you're not a 16-year-old male athlete and you have that blood pressure, they're like, oh my God, there's something wrong because you're so different. Are you willing to be as different with your body as you truly be and freak every doctor you ever go to out about how weird your body is? Like how many doctors and acupuncturists and chiropractors and naturopaths can we freak out when we come into their office because we're so different that we don't fit into the box of what they think a body is?
Yes, please.
Yes, please. Yes. That would be so fun for me.
I know. And you know what? Talking about the class that we are going to have in December, what I love about this class, the 3-day body class, is that there are many people running different processes and your body receives all the processes.
They do.
That's amazing.
It's even more like everybody's doing different processes and how many people have been in big classes and little classes, pandemic, tiny classes. But they all contribute to this other energy that goes bigger than the class. So you have your process, your gifting and receiving with someone, but they all combine into this magic that I could not define. That you'll get it. Like I'm like 10 minutes in the class. If that hasn't shown up, like I'm almost like, oh my God, I hurry, please give me, because my body just goes, there it is. There's this energy of what being with a body, actually, truly the energy that could be available everywhere, every day, all the time. Yeah.
And how much consciousness, how much contribution for the whole planet are these classes?
And they are, before the pandemic, they were growing and they're starting to grow again. And there's so many body class facilitators that are like what you're choosing that have chosen it in the last couple of years. That is so exciting for me. I'd like a class, 2 or 3 classes a month in every city on the planet going on with 50 to 100 to 200 people. Like what could we change if that was the energy that was possible? I don't know if we'll get 50 to 200 in LA, but who knows who can show up and who's interested. I'm so happy to come down there because 2 of my kids live down in Southern California, and I'm going to get to see them both around the class. So
yay!
Thank you for inviting me to my old hangout. I used to live there many years ago.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
I was in Glendale, California, but I went to USC, so I was, So I always love coming back to my old haunt, my old place. But we're in Santa Ana by Disneyland.
Exactly. So
what magic is that going to create?
Yay! A lot of fun for bodies.
Any other questions before we go? We've kind of been on, like, we're kind of ending.
¿Alguien más tiene preguntas?
What do you guys want to know or contribute?
¿Qué les gustaría saber que puede contribuirles a ustedes y a sus cuerpos?
How to learn to listen to my body.
Mm-hmm.
There's a question that just came in. It's not a learning so much. Like I need to learn Spanish, but even that's not a learning. Aprender. It's a request that you start to be. What would it take to hear my body, to listen to my body? And give your body permission to talk to you. We've been trained to not listen to it. We've told it, no way am I going to listen to you. I'm never listening to anything you say. We were told to eat everything on our plate when we were little kids, when we weren't hungry. And some of us did it, and some of us fought our parents forever, but that's another universal thing. I get that every country I've been to, they have that stupid story. Eat everything on your plate. Someone's dying somewhere. You know, they're dying in China or Africa, I don't know, starving somewhere. So we're trained from very early on not to listen. So you have to make it a demand that no matter what it takes, I'm going to listen to my body. And it will not look like you think it does. And if you think you are listening, it is your body. If for a second you get something like, oh, I'd like to eat this, or oh, I'd like to go for a walk, or oh, I want to put this outfit on. And you go, oh, maybe that was my body. Ask a question, body, was that you telling me it? It's like a practice. The more you practice, the more you're with it, the more you'll be able to hear it, the louder it gets. I don't know. What would you say, Bety? I know you've been changing that for you.
Yeah, and it's changed a lot for me because like 2 or 3 years ago, I was like, everybody in Access listens to their body and I don't listen anything. I was in the drama. And I started with little things that my body was telling me, like, for example, when I wanted to go to the bathroom or when I wanted to drink some water, or when a fabric, it was delicious for my body. And I was like, oh, I see, my body is talking to me, like in little things, but really very specific. I enjoyed some flavors, some colors, and I was like, that is not my body. And it was my body. That was the first part.
That's beautiful. And that's kind of what I was trying to, that was beautiful description of how you almost don't know it's your body when it is your body. Like, how about like all of the times in your life so far, all you guys, like everywhere you've listened to your body and not known it was your body, would you be willing to have more, like, receive that without judgment? Receive that without the doubt, the distractor implant of doubt? Could we destroy and create everything that is?
Yes.
Right, we're good, bad, PodPOC, online shorts, boys and beyonds. Because there is this distractor implant of doubt, which takes you away from what you actually know, that we will have with what our body knows. And there's this moment when it is your body that's kind of, it's like this joyous moment, which can be just a laugh or a smile or like, oh. Like one of those things I've said, like when you're really, really thirsty and you drink a glass of water. Or back when we were little and you could drink out of a garden hose. I don't know if you ever did that, but when you in the summer, like that gulping of the water and how joyful that feels, that's your body telling you, yes, that. And we've all felt it. And we've made it wrong, or we've thought we shouldn't do it because it felt so good, but that's your body. Yeah, and every time you have that moment, go, yes, yes. How does it get any better than that? What else can you tell me?
Totally. Thank you. Thank you for that. They're also asking here if you could please recommend or say something about a process for stomach cancer. cancer.
Right. So this is something I talk about in class a lot, which there are no specific processes. This is that medical thing where you have a diagnosis and then you want a prescription. Body processes are not a prescription for a specific thing. There's 60 some body processes you learn in this class. And if you've been to body class trades or been to the foundation, you get some of them. We've already had some access to them. Every body will require something different to change something, and cancer is probably something that would need a private session, or I do a Zoom on just that topic. It's not something I think we have time to go into. It's a choice that is, you know, you all know the energy of cancer. Like it's, I'm going to die. You know, so there's this energy of dying to get out of something or choosing what they're choosing it for. What I think I'll say quickly is like, you're the creator of everything in your life, including what's created with your body. And that's hard for things that show up that are that awful in this reality, to see that you are the creator. If you can see that, if the person can actually see, yes, there was some value in creating this, then they can see the value in uncreating it. Not everyone can get there. Some it's just an honoring of what they're choosing. Some people can change. I've had many, many clients and patients over the years that have had cancer and they've gone every which way. But it's always been to create more ease if they can see that they can uncreate anything they created. And the way and Bety would also speak to it in a body class, is that it's to ask the body what process. Totally. And if you're coming to the body class and this is someone, a family member or someone you know, you will get the skills and tools to start to be like asking their body what process, in this beautiful manual you get that's full of so much information and full of all these processes that could contribute to changing these crazy things that we create. And
I would like to add that this manual is not like new, but it has like, I don't know, 6 months or maybe a year with new processes that are, wow, really amazing.
Yes. Yes, there's tons. And you also have the possibility of, once you've taken the class, of purchasing all the years of other processes that may be valuable for some bodies, you know? So once you've taken the body class, you can get the reference materials for all of the other 100 or so body processes that sometimes they just don't read as dynamically now as they did 5 years ago, 10 years ago, but sometimes that can be the process that someone requires. If you love this stuff, you know, the more you'll want more and you'll choose things like that if it's your thing. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Glenna. And thank you for your time. I know it's night for you, right? Where you are.
Yes, it is. It's not too late though. The time zones were weird. We had, time zones. Tiempos zonas, is that how you say it? The time zones. Thank you for coming on, everyone. And I hope to see you on the planet somewhere in a body class or a class somewhere. And I'd love to see you in LA. And I'm so excited to teach this class, Bety. This has been fabulous. You have so much, I mean, it's like your awareness of bodies is exciting my body. So how fun can we have? And what can you create and what will you create after this class?
Thank you. Thank you very much to everybody to join us today, and for Glenna for her time, and Sarah for translating.
Yes, Sarah, thank you.
Gracias. Van a recibir la grabación en español. Les pido una disculpa si no pudieron entrar al Zoom, pero sí tenemos la grabación en español. Muchísimas gracias a todos. Gracias, Glenna.
Gracias, Bety.